The year's 2023. The COVID crackdown's finally easing up. You're looking to get back outside, take the family out, but you want an efficient vehicle. Cue the 2024 Kia Hybrid Sportage SX Prestige. Not an amazing hybrid by any stretch of the imagination, but a very practical and cost-effective hybrid that you can find for a very affordable price. Today we're going to see if you should go back a couple years and get the affordable 2024 hybrid, or if you should shell out the extra bones so that you can get the brand new redesigned 2026 hybrid Sportage. So let's dive in. Starting off in the front of this Kia Sportage, we do have quite a busy front end going on here. We've got a nice chrome lip running across the center here that hides some daytime running lights, and then we've got ginormous checkmark daytime running lights on the sides, as well as our turn signal indicators, dual LED headlamps. Overall, got tons of light coming from the front. A good functional grille as well, and a piano black lip with some more functionality down there. Overall, I would say that the front end is quite busy, but it gives a little bit of more style that you weren't expecting. Wrapping around to the side of the Sportage, we do have 18-inch wheels straight from the factory. As you can see, more of that piano black wrapping around the fender well. Overall, I would say that the wheels look okay. Going back further though, we actually do have 360 cameras on this Sportage, as well as lane departure warnings and blind spot monitoring built right into it, and they're painted to match the vehicle in this beautiful color. I absolutely love the color of this vehicle. It might be one of my favorites that we've had in the past year. As well as paint to match door handles. Great. Got a little bit of a silver skirt running around the side as well, with more of that piano black. This thing is going to get more filthy than you have ever seen. Coming on to the rear though, we do have the rear tail lights that wrap around to the side and kind of check into the middle as they come into a point. They look kind of sporty, follows the name, Sportage after all. However, we do not have the ability to tow, at least not straight from the factory on this Sportage. Overall though, the rear end looks pretty nice. Again, really love the color. You do have your hidden rear wiper. I love that. I talk about it like every video, but it's hidden. That's fantastic. And then we do have also power liftgate in the rear. Great. Opens up nice and high, got a button to close it. In the back, we have tons of space in this crossover Sportage. However, you're not a ton of functionality. We've got a 12-volt outlet on the left-hand side, and that's about it in the rear here. Otherwise, we do get some storage underneath here that does have a spare tire, and Kia wants to see if they pass a test. So we'll go ahead and throw this in here and see how it'll hurt my doohickey. Oh, in typical Kia fashion, it is wanting to chop your hand off. So keep your appendages out of the door. Let's check out the interior of this Sportage though real quick and see how it looks. Now the door panel themselves, a little bit sporty. You've got like a burnt orange or red armrest here that's wrapped in leather, as well as more piano black. I do like the stylization up here. It kind of looks like fake carbon fiber, and then you got the chrome door handle. That's kind of unique. I kind of like it. You do have 2 memory seat functions for your front seat, as well as very typical operations on your door panel itself. Now the seat itself is powered, and you have 8-way adjustment. So that's great. Also, the seat is heated and ventilated. There's nothing crazy going on here other than it just looks like a good seat. There's nothing embossed or anything like that. Hopping in though, it's comfortable enough. Now the cockpit of this Sportage is somewhat unique. You've got dual 12.3-inch screens. You've got controls over here, so let's figure them out. On the steering wheel itself, all very standard. We don't need to dive into it, but you do have a couple paddle shifters, very typical stocks as well, so nothing to talk about there. On the left-hand side though, we've got our brightness for our gauge cluster, we've got our traction control, 12-volt battery reset and hold so that you can stop the rear lift gate, as well as our electronic parking brake. All right, now on the right-hand side of the steering wheel is where everything starts to get a little bit weird, or not typical anyways. One thing that I noticed right off the bat is that these controls are pointed towards the passenger for whatever reason, and these are for your heated steering wheel and your heated and ventilated seats for both the front seats. Just odd positioning. They're facing the passenger, not you. Whatever. Okay, that's fine. We can move past that. However, to start this car, it is push start, and it is not in the typical place because I am not pressing the button. It is instead on the center console here with the rotary gear selector as well as your rotary drive mode selector. And in this car, you've only got Eco, Sport, Smart, and Snow. downhill acceleration control, auto hold, parking sensors, and your 360 camera view. What is great though is that you do have Android Auto and Apple CarPlay standard throughout the whole lineup, and you've got a wireless charging pad right here that can be covered by more piano black. In terms of connectivity though, you do get a Type-C port and a Type-A port. So at least you get a little bit of connectivity there. One thing that is pretty neat, I will say, is that this menu here is actually a digital menu. Now, I always complain about having touchscreens for, our climate control and everything, but this is okay, I guess. But what's cool is that you can switch it, and now it is instead menu navigations. That's kind of neat. Overall, I would say that the front dash, maybe it's a little overstyled, but hey, maybe you like that. I will say for the price of the car though, it's pretty clean looking. It's not too bad. So moving up above the infotainment center, you do not have any home link buttons on your rear view mirror. You just get a rear view mirror. Up above there, we've got the controls to open up our ginormous sunroof at the top. It's massive. It's really big. And then we've got also our SOS button, our Kia Connect button, and our dome light controls. Nothing crazy going on here, just to double check. Yeah, no home link buttons anywhere. All right, well, that about wraps up the front here. Let's see how the back is. It is a crossover after all. Coming into the rear of the 2024 Kia Sportage, you'll notice it is styled just like the front. They didn't cut any corners, at least on how it looks. The door panels look exactly the same. They're styled quite nicely. The seats also are exactly the same, but there are some stuff back here that we do want to pay attention to. The seats themselves though, they don't feel very comfortable. I would not want to spend a long time back here, but I do at least have plenty of room, plenty of headspace, about 3 inches of headspace and like 8-10 inches of knee space. So that's great. We do have 2 Type-C USB ports on the 2 front chairs, as well as some bag hooks and more hooks up here for, I don't know, an iPad or something, I guess. Keep the kids entertained. Got a couple pouches, and of course, our cup holders, because that's most important for the kids. Overall, though, it's somewhat roomy, somewhat practical, but what's even better is I can kick back and relax. So I'll see you on the road. All right, now we're behind the wheel of the 2024 Kia Sportage SX Prestige. Now, it is a little bit older of a car, a couple years, but it's older. Overall though, it's pretty quiet. It's a quiet ride. Steve, how quiet is it though? It feels pretty quiet. I mean,
I have the app. I just download the app.
You got an app for that?
Yeah.
Oh.
Sounds meter.
Okay.
So without talking. 36 miles per hour.
54? Then if we floor it.
How high does it go?
64.
That's like conversation.
Yeah, so you can definitely hold a conversation in here while you're driving, and you won't be drowned out by the road noise, at least. I will say it's not a fun drive by any stretch of the imagination. It's kind of boring. The handling is Actually, the steering is a little bit heavy. It's got some weight behind the steering wheel. The acceleration is very lackluster. We'll test that in 0 to 60, but I do not expect anything good out of it. Braking, pretty standard. Nothing to complain about there, at least. But overall, the experience is just I'm in a car. But what really do you need, I guess? If you're buying a crossover Sportage, you're not looking for anything exciting. Are you, Steve?
The design is exciting. Interior design pretty exciting, I think. It's kind of unique, especially the climate control. You can switch to like radio control. That's pretty cool. I've never seen it before. And it has center lock differential. That's crazy.
Yeah, I don't know why it has a center diff.
Yeah, for entry level sport compact SUV. And I don't even think like RAV4 has it.
Yes, this is a direct competitor with the CR-V as well as the CX-5 from Mazda, but I do feel like I like the Mazda quite a bit more.
Yeah, and definitely the design, the exterior design is so much better for the CX-50.
And it's just more of a pleasure to drive.
There's more feature like remote parking. That's really cool, I think.
Yeah, it's cool, but it's like a gimmick. When are you ever actually going to use that? Unless like
when some asshole park next to you very close.
Yeah.
my fat ass cannot go in.
But that's about the only time that you really would, right?
Plus, like right now, I injure myself, so I cannot even drive this.
That's true. And what's nice is this does have some safety features so you don't get more injured. You know, we've got blind spot monitoring, we've got lane departure warning, basically everything that's standard nowadays, we have it. And like you said, you've got the handicap accessibility. You can back it out of a parking space with just the remote. I mean, I feel like that's a Kia gimmick, but I can see situations where it would be handy. If you're looking for something practical that is somewhat efficient on gas, because this is not the most efficient hybrid you could buy. We'll talk more about that in a second. But so far it doesn't feel bad. All right, so now that we're in this 2024 Kia Sportage Hybrid SX Prestige, we may as well see how fast she is because she feels very slow. So we've got our race box set up in drag mode and we've got it in sport mode on the drivetrain here. So let's floor it and hear those ponies fly. Here we go. It's more like a whine, less like a roar, but we get 7 seconds and 7.55 seconds. So
on paper it's 7.2.
Okay, so that's not too bad.
And the best thing is the mile per gallon actually is really amazing. It's 38 all across. 38 mile per gallon for city, highway, and combined.
That's not bad, but
That's not bad for 7.2 seconds to 60.
yeah, it's not too bad. I say it's not great because, you know, I've driven hybrids that get upwards of like 70 miles per gallon. So that would obviously be better, but I guess I won't complain about that. But what makes that happen? How does it accomplish that?
Wow, they have a 1.6 liter turbocharged engine, 4-cylinder, with an electric motor.
Okay, just one?
Just one, yeah. 44 kilowatt, which is kind of okay, I guess. Not too big, not too small. 227 horsepower and 258 foot-pound of torque with 6-speed automatic transmission instead of CVT, so it's a good thing. And they also offer 3 different powertrains. They have the gas engine, turbocharged gas engine. They have the hybrid, which is the one we are reviewing today, and they have the plug-in hybrid. For the drivetrain, the Pristine is a standard all-wheel drive. But if you go with other trim like the EX also standard all-wheel drive. But if you go with the LX, the standard is a front-wheel drive. All-wheel drive is optional.
Ah, okay.
One thing I don't know is the price for this model, the one we are reviewing right now, the top of the line.
This is actually more of the middle of the pack because the Sportage has like 9 different trim levels and they just go crazy with them. And I forget what's after SX Prestige because there's so many of them, but this is like number 6, I think. But it's practical and it's affordable because it's only coming in at $38K.
38 is not bad.
Yeah, 38 not bad. I mean,
So that they still have 10-year powertrain warranty. 10-year, 100,000 mile powertrain warranty.
right.
That's great. But one thing I have to tell you, man, I'll tell them, you know, my dad had a 2002 Kia Sportage, brand new. Within the next 6 months, he has like those airbag light on, and he took it to dealer like so many times. It's so annoying. If the dealer don't offer a loaner car, that is like ridiculous. Even with the 10-year warranty, or at the end, he get away with it.
I would too, yeah. Issues after 6 months when you buy a brand new car is ridiculous. So hopefully these 2024s aren't the same. Hopefully the 2025s and 2026s aren't either. But, you know, if you don't want to take the risk on the 2024, or if you don't like how it looks, the 2026 model that just came in is completely redesigned. And I think there's some powertrain changes and stuff too. So that could always be an option. I mean, how do you feel about the newer models of Kia?
The new, I mean, the new, like compared to the 20 years ago.
No, or 5 years ago even.
They have been improving a lot. Like you don't see anything identical, you know, like in terms of design. It's like Hyundai, you know, the same company. But if you talk about 20 years ago, the one that my dad had, it looked a copycat of a Chevy Checker. Almost exactly the same. So they have been improved a lot, special like feature technology, like this climate control. You can change to the radio control. That's great, you know. All this little feature, you know, for the price is great.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I would say, you know, in conclusion, the 2024 Kia Sportage it's a practical and nice little car. It's not like anything to write home about. You're certainly not going to impress anybody, but hey, you've got some neat quirks that you can play with, like the climate control to media control and everything. Just make sure you keep your eyes on the road while you're doing that with all this touchscreen stuff. But yeah, it's not bad. For $38K, it's worth checking out if you're looking for something efficient and that's big enough to carry the whole family. And get groceries or whatever you may need to do, because you got tons of space in the back as well. If you're gonna go check one out, let us know what you think of it after you do. Otherwise, make sure you smash up the likes, subscribe to the channel, because we'll see you on the next video.
Yep, special we have when we get the 2026, all right?
Yeah, we'll see you for 2026.